To order. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Chairman Steve Chisholm,
Present.
Commissioner Rebecca Daniels, present. Commissioner Cheryl Hayes Bradford, excused.
Yep.
Commissioner Darrell Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Mac Willis,
Present.
Commissioner Tavon Hall,
Excuse.
Commissioner Tanya Williams. You do have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you.
I was like, you know what? I apologize. I got my little I got my template, and you were absent. You were absent. So
You over there, man? You over there? Okay, all right.
man, look. Mayor Patrick Wembley.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Mayor Patrick Wembley.
Yep, I'm here.
Yes, sir. You have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. See, and we said Cheryl Hayes Bradford, excuse,
Yes.
right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I was lost. That's what I was counting too. Like, hold on, it's 6 of us. Ooh, all right, got you. All right, we are down to adoption of the agenda. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the agenda? Are there any additions or subtractions? Hearing none, the floor is open for a motion to adopt the agenda as is.
So move.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Agenda is now adopted. We're down to adoption of the minutes. Item 3A, adoption of August 28th, 2023 meeting minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
All righty, the floor is open for a motion to approve the minutes or adopt the minutes of August 28th, 2023.
So move.
Approve.
You say approved.
Second?
Second.
All righty. Is it properly
Oh, you do the approving, my bad.
is it properly moved and seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are down to item number 4, first hearing of the public for items not scheduled for a public hearing, but on the agenda. If there is anyone here from the general public who wishes to speak to the items that are on the agenda at this moment, which are not scheduled for a public hearing, which we don't have any, please approach the podium and state your name for the record. Hearing nothing and seeing no movement, we are down to item number 5, public hearings. As previously stated, we have no items for public hearing. We're down to item number 6, unfinished business. Item 6A, case number 23-09, special land use, auto car lot at 26300 Michigan Avenue. Review and consideration of recommendation of approval of a special land use request for secondhand auto sales in the B3, thoroughfare mixed use district at 26300 Michigan Avenue. Ali Syed is the applicant. Just recapping, guys, this is the the items that we tabled at our last planning commission meeting due to trying to investigate if there was still a moratorium in place or what exactly that spoke of. And I believe we're past that point. And so that's why this came under unfinished business. I will turn it over to the planning department to give us any recaps they deem appropriate.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, to refresh your memory, this is the lot where the old chocolatier, Cordon's Chocolates, was located, and the applicant is proposing to extend their car lot business to that building. The parking lot itself will be used primarily for customer parking, but they want to use the building to put some of their very high-end showcase cars in that front glass area, and then put some bays on the side of the building on the the east-facing wall, so that they can detail their cars and do, minor maintenance in preparation to sell them. So because this would be extending their current use, this is being considered for a special land use and the site plan, and they've submitted both applications. We believe it would be consistent with the area, given that the car lot is next door, and there's also auto-related use on the other side of the building. We don't have any major concerns about the site plan or the special land use. As the chairman mentioned, we were investigating whether or not there was still a moratorium on used car lots. And I've attached in your packet an email from Attorney Jones saying that he has searched his records and could not find anything on the car lot moratorium. He doesn't recall this being consulted as the particular moratorium which is why his email didn't uncover anything, and he didn't recall an extension of the moratorium after the initial one was extended. So it's his understanding and recommendation that that has expired and is no longer in effect, allowing this body to move forward with their recommendation, whatever they may choose. I know the applicant is here if there's any additional questions.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have anything at this time for the planning department or the applicant? Go right ahead, Commissioner Willis.
How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good
afternoon.
For the record, Ali Dagger, it's ALIDAGHER, 14207 Ford Road, City of Dearborn, 48126.
Thank you.
So you plan on taking the building and putting a bigger glass front and put more exotic vehicles in there in the as a showroom type deal? Or?
It's really not more than 1 or 2 cars.
Okay.
Because it's not a very big space.
Okay.
And it's a car that, depends on what they want to showcase. And the other dealerships, they've got Lamborghinis, they have like really nice high-end cars that they come across once in a while that they would just show, and people would buy them within a month or so. So that's basically what it's mostly for creating an ambiance of the high-end vehicles that they also sell. But most of the cars that they sell are not the clunkers. These are cars that are still within warranties. That's part of their business, is that they sell cars that have warranties, still manufacturers' warranties, under 20,000, 30,000 miles. And it's oftentimes they even buy the new cars, if they can find them right now, but inventory is pretty low. Most of these cars are cars that are maybe a year and a half to 2 years maximum old. And as we had talked about before, it's just those bays are added because the car comes in from wherever, or that somebody turns it in. They clean them up. They vacuum, they change the oil once in a while there. It's pretty much all that happens there.
Okay.
And in answer to your question about the glass, I don't believe that that's changing at all.
No.
They're good. They really like that building for how it looks, and they're going to maintain the integrity of the exterior look of the building, so that it's still a very nice, the Art Deco type of design. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, pretty much it does. So you own the car lot next door to it?
Yeah, my client does.
Okay.
I apologize. Oh, sorry, guys. It's probably my wife calling. Okay. No, it's not. It's him, but I got to figure out how to turn this off. I'm not that old, but I feel like just now I'm an old man. I'm 57, so I'm not that old, but as long as I can still play basketball, I'm still good. Barely play basketball, but that's okay. What was the question? See? I honestly forgot what you asked.
Well, no, I was looking at the exterior also. I see that you guys are complied with the fencing and the bushings and stuff, so that looks nice.
All we're doing is that we're using the parking lot as is, and the place where the chocolate factory was, it's just customer parking right there, and then everything else pretty much remains the same. We're taking that small building taking it down. That's part of the current lot. It's kind of useless since we're going to be opening up a much nicer building. So you'll have salespeople, 1 or 2 salespeople in there, and then you'll have I think it's a couple of bays where cars pull in and out, and then you'll have when you walk in, you'll see a very nice, upscale, very expensive vehicle. I can't afford it, but very expensive vehicle.
Okay.
I mean, I can, but I won't buy it.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay. Anything additional, commissioners? Oh,
So
Commissioner Davis.
the one building that's there now, the little building,
That's
taking
coming
that down.
Yeah, that's coming down.
All right,
That's not really. It's not necessary.
right.
Yeah, it's a very much of an upgrade of that entire.
So once that come down, it just make the parking lot look.
Yeah, it's just you put an extra car in there. That's pretty much it. But the facade of taking that building down makes the entire property looks much better. And these guys they don't skimp. They're very good at updating, and they're very good at, because it's about their image. They're one of the fastest growing dealerships in the country.
And where's that other location?
They've got about 9 of them. One of the headquarters is on Grand River in Radford.
They're the twins.
You know the Twins Auto? You see their
Oh,
billboards
okay.
everywhere.
Oh, okay.
They are literally twins. They
Okay.
look alike too.
No, I'm just saying, if the building come down.
Even though I've known them for 10 years.
DPS involved, we gotta disconnect water and stuff.
You don't have to. You can let it run. I'm just playing. No, you're right.
Those are all part of their responsibility. They'll comply with whatever they have to do. They have a good builder, and they got a good architect. So I think we're good. Everything's going to work out just fine. Hope they want to get this up and running within 60 days. So hopefully between now and the end of the year, the tax season and the new year usually is the time where people begin to buy cars.
Sure.
And so they want to be up and running by January, which they'll do. It's not that hard. The demolition is easy, and some exterior facade and the interior stuff is easy to do. These guys, they've been doing it for a while. They know what they're doing now.
So I'm sorry.
Anything additional, Commissioner Davis?
No.
Nope. Commissioner Dance?
So the exterior facade, you stated, I know all that's going to come off and that's going to have their new name or whatever on it. So is it going to kind of look new though when they?
Yeah,
finish
they're
it?
gonna do whatever they need to make it look new, including the paint and whatnot. That's all gonna get done.
Okay.
But the Art Deco look, in terms of how that window is, that's gonna stay because that's really nice, and that's like a signature property in the area, and everybody
Absolutely.
likes it. And so I like that. I mean, that's a nice thing to have, and so do they. It fits in with what they want to do.
Absolutely. See the nice little cars showing through the glass window, right?
Yeah, that's the idea.
You all set? All right, Commissioner Willis.
Oh, no, just making a statement. Because I believe that's the oldest running business that we had in Wayne County almost. You know what I'm saying? Since 1918, that chocolate factory.
He's trying. I think he's going to relocate to a smaller facility where he can just do some things on the side. But he couldn't find anybody to take over his business. I mean, we worked with him for a year and a half because we told him, look, if you want to find somebody else, that's fine. Let us know. And then he's the one that called and said, I can't do it anymore. Nobody really wants to do this. So, and everybody wants to open up, the people want marijuana locations. This isn't going to be one of them.
Right, that's all it is.
And none of my clients do any of that stuff.
Okay. Yep.
All right. I just have a question as far as because this came up with the Valero, as far as like oil changes go, because up there, persons have been using the car wash, the do-it-yourself car wash, and pouring oil down their drains. So as far as like, I know you said maybe some oil changes here and there with the cars. Are you doing oil changes on site, or can you expand upon that? Well, not you, but would the applicant be doing oil changes on site?
Anybody that would throw oil down the sewer is an
You're
idiot.
fine.
Yes.
I mean, you are an idiot because one, it's immoral, and then you're going to get fined up the wazoo. Whatever they have to do, they maintain a very clean. I go to their place all the time, and that you can eat off the floor. They don't skimp. These guys do what they need to do, and they always do it right. That's why they're very successful. So whatever they have to do to comply, they're going to comply.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because I wasn't sure how it goes with used car lots, what the processes are.
The majority of the work, in terms of any type of repair work, is likely to occur at their place. They've got a huge place in Redford.
Okay.
They've got like about 5 or 6 bays. And it doesn't make sense for them to bring a mechanic for a small shop like this. So everything gets fixed. But once in a while, when somebody has to change an oil filter or has to change like I'm not a car guy, so forgive me, like a filter for the air filter, stuff like that gets done there, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not worth it to take it all the way down there just to change something like an air filter.
Right. Planning Department, then we'll come back to Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to note, and this is listed as one of the requirements, conditions of the special land use, an additional standard for outdoor sales space or secondhand vehicles is that there's no major or repair or major refinishing on premise. And so I know I've talked with the owner before about kind of what that, you know, requirements are, and they need to make sure that they include that as a note on their site plan, that there would be no oil change, like actual oil change, like they're, you know, changing a gas cap is something minor, but
That's what I meant. I didn't mean anything that would be significant. It makes no sense for them because in order to change the oil, somebody's gonna have to, there's no pit there.
Oh, I'm aware.
So it ain't gonna happen.
Okay,
Nobody's
I
gonna
just-
go onto our car to change, no. I'm talking about, let's say, for example, they wanna change a filter or something like that. Yeah, it's not worth it to take it to the other location. But the typical way this works is that the car is purchased, before it even goes to any of these locations, they take it to the garage, the one in Redford, where they do all of the work they need to do, and then it's done. Oftentimes, if the car has been inspected on site upon purchase, they'll ship it directly to the dealership, and they just do the interior and exterior cleaning there, and that's it.
Okay.
Because you can't put mechanics at every one of these locations. It doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams.
Since one of the twins came in, can he come to the podium?
Yes, of course.
Thank
Sorry
you.
I'm late.
No problem. So what your attorney was answering the question, since you're here, I think it would be better to direct that to him. There was a question, and he might have kind of misstated.
I misstated about the oil change.
Yeah.
My apologies.
So if you could clarify that.
Tell you how much I know about cars.
Yeah, so clarify that a little bit. Jane, you said in one of the requirements is gonna be, no major.
auto
Major or
repair
minor.
or refinishing. So
Okay.
that means painting, even tinting, glass tinting, things of that nature would not be allowed on premise. And that's one of the conditions of their approval would be they list that agreement to that on their site plan. And we've had this discussion.
Right.
Okay, and that wouldn't also, in this case, now include like oil changes, correct?
Correct, yeah. All our reconditioning, like Ali Degger was saying, is all done in our Redford store. That's our main hub. So, we do all our body work over there, our services, oil change, detail, all that. And then we distribute them to all the dealerships.
Okay, yeah.
You good?
So through the chair.
Yeah, Mayor Wembley.
So Twin, the building you're using with the 2 bays, is that just to what, detail cars? What are you doing with that?
Yep, just clean up, detailing cars. That's it.
Vacuum
Vacuum,
and
shampoo,
wipe
that's it,
things
yeah.
down. If they need it. If they don't, they don't.
And that service will just be provided for your car?
For our cars only, yep. No public work, nope.
Anything additional, commissioners? No. Alrighty, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. It's a model that's worked, and that's the model they're gonna follow. Centralization of all the repair work is essential.
Right.
And how to get things done, so.
Okay.
Apologize for misspeaking about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. Thank you.
Twin, come back to.
Yes.
Mayor Wembley.
Now, your attorney was saying, as it relates to your cars, and that's one of the biggest things for it. I know, coming before this body, the next body, of course, is the city council.
Mayor Wembley, can you turn your mic on, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem, thank you.
Mr. Chair. That's one of the biggest things for the council is, and I'm not necessarily speaking for the general counsel, but at the same time, I know the council. The cars themselves, and your attorney was saying that they'll be under warranty in so many years and all that good stuff. Can you speak to that a little bit? Talk
So,
about what
yeah,
your product is gonna look like?
Yeah, so we are going to offer third-party warranties with all these vehicles. However, state law requires us as used car dealerships to post as is no warranties on all our vehicles.
Okay.
But our dealership provides warranties to a third-party company that 99% of our customers, purchase.
So what's like the average years, like,
They're gonna be all late model vehicles.
so like, what's like
Late
what?
model is considered last 5 years.
Mhm.
Under 70, 80,000 miles. We're not
Okay.
gonna have no hoopties or anything over there.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one of the things, just again, too, as you come, of course, this body and then whatever this body recommends to the council,
Right.
that's something that you want to really illustrate,
Right.
because, we had a lot of car dealers around here already, and you got a lot of hooties.
Yeah.
You know, and I done been out on Grand River. I see what you guys are doing. I mean, you're definitely an asset to that community, especially that
Sure, yeah,
thoroughfare.
we cleaned it up,
What you
figured
guys
it
are
out.
doing with your properties.
We want to do that over here. Hopefully, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, for sure. You know, for sure. But
There are
you
a lot
know,
of investment properties over there as
Yeah.
well, besides the dealerships. But
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's kind of what I want you to do, you know, again, as you come before this body, you know, really illustrate that, you know, as it
Right.
relates to your investment in the
Right.
community. Because like Commissioner Willis was saying before, you know, this business itself was probably the oldest business model like its kind, and probably even running business since 1918
Oh, yeah.
in the, you know, in the state.
we're the Motor
You know,
City.
one of the oldest, right?
We're the Motor City,
So
yeah.
so we want to make sure that as we're looking at reoccupying this space, that it's done in a way that, you know, it really maintains that, you know, esteem. You know,
Yeah,
to
so
the best.
we have a little bit, we have a better, you know, different look than other deals. Ours is more like a modern look. You know, we have 35 lenders that we deal with. So there's a lot of lenders that won't let us put that vehicle through their program because it's either too old or there's too many miles on it. Sorry about that. So, I mean, that's why we stay within the, you know, 5 to maybe 7-year-old vehicles, no older than that. You know, of course, we want the vehicle to last as long as it can for our customer too, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know what you guys are doing. I know that you'll be definitely a tremendous asset to the city
Thank
of
you.
Inkster as it relates to our development and where we're headed. It's just, again, you know, to really get past that misnorm about,
Right.
you know, used car dealerships.
Right.
You know, I know you guys are taking
We,
it to
we,
that
we
next
call it
level.
pre-owned dealerships, you know.
Yeah.
So we advertise it's pre-owned. We don't like to use the word used
Yeah.
dealerships. Pre-owned, like I said, it's more modern.
Just
Look.
giving you a few jewels.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure.
Just want to make sure you
Right. Trust me,
Just
we
coming
know.
back around, you know, that's what you're
Absolutely.
talking about.
No,
you
for
know?
sure.
Yeah, we really appreciate, you know, of course, you having your attorney here, but having you here means even more, you know?
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, likewise. Nice seeing you all too.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anything additional, commissioners? All right, and nothing from the planning department, right? Anything additional from the applicants? Nothing. Okay. All righty. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Commissioners, the floor is open for a motion to recommend approval for item 6A, which is the special land use auto car lot at 26300 Michigan Avenue.
I move to recommend approval to City Council, the proposed special land use for an outdoor secondhand vehicle sales lot at 26300 Michigan Avenue with the conditions outlined in the site plan review in our stated packet. Support.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We're down to item B, case number. We're down to item B, case number 6B, case number 23-10, site plan, auto car lot at 26300 Michigan Avenue. Review and consideration of approval of a site plan for secondhand auto sales in the B3 Thoroughfare Mixed Use District at 26300 Michigan Avenue. Ali, pronounce your last name for me, please.
Saad, S-A-A-D.
Ali Saad, I'm sorry, is the applicant. Planning Department, I'm sorry.
So no further comment other than what we discussed about the use of the site, the expansion from next door, their demolition of that building on that site, and their office moving into the building with the customer parking at Cordon's, what was formerly Cordon's Chocolate. So I believe we discussed that thoroughly.
Okay. Mayor Weberly.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Okay, so you just looking at the site plan, you said that the Cordon's Chocolate is parking is gonna be at the Cordon's Chocolate, but how is that if the building is gonna be there? So you're gonna look like the building is attached, is gonna be attached to.
So if you look at I'm trying to think what page it is, but you'll see there's existing parking spot to the west, or to the east of the existing building. Where there's customer parking for Cordon's Chocolate right now.
Right. Just the parking lot for them there, that's fenced off right there.
Where the new building gonna be at?
So there's not gonna be a new building.
Oh, it won't be a new building.
Right.
No,
They're keeping
they're
the facade of the new
moving, they're
building.
taking their office down with the existing office on their used lot, which is on the north side.
So they're just gonna be,
So then they're gonna use the prior Cordon's building as their office. And then the parking that was used as customer parking for Cordon's Chocolate will be customer parking. It will not be used auto spots.
so this is the front, and then this is gonna be the back. Is that what we're talking about?
Right, where the actual factory is.
So where the factory is where they're gonna change and convert into.
The two,
That's what I'm saying. So it's not a new building then. Because on here it actually looks like it's gonna be a new
So
building.
they're adding bay doors to the existing building.
Okay,
But that's the extent of the.
okay. So where the factory is now in the back
Yes.
of the building, on the alleyway basically,
Uh,
that's where it's gonna be,
the,
the doors.
the doors are gonna be facing east, so they're gonna
Michigan
be.
Avenue.
Nope.
east.
So parallel to Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know. So you drive down Michigan Avenue, you can see the bay doors.
Yes,
They're coming,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm
towards the
saying.
building.
Okay.
yes.
All right. So right now you just see the back of the building is just a factory in the back of the building.
Yep.
And now they're gonna add those two doors to the side of the building.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Anything additional?
Oh, that's now. If he said, when we said here, the site plan for secondhand auto use, and he said pre-use, we still gonna use secondhand there, should it say pre-use?
Pre-owned?
You said
Pre-owned, yeah, pre-owned, pre-owned. Should that make a difference?
No, under the law.
All right, I just
Under
wanted,
the law, it doesn't, but public perception it
right,
does.
it say, well,
And that's what you don't have
secondhand,
to.
secondhand, it
There's gonna
should
be
say
people here that's gonna be totally against it.
pre-owned, yeah.
Cause secondhand sound a little old.
Exactly.
When we performed the reviews, we used what language is in the zoning code, so that's how the zoning code defines used auto sale, lots. If you wanna publicly refer to it as pre-owned, that's okay, but for, our legal
Language purposes,
reasons,
we have to use what's in the
Okay, all
language.
right.
what's in the
okay.
zoning code.
I'm good with it.
But, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
You all set, Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Daniels?
So, is pre-owned gonna be lit up out there? Like we have at other, cause you can see that at other places when you.
Yeah, our building is much larger. That's why. So, we're gonna do what we can, but it's a lot smaller building. Yeah.
Okay.
So mainly say twin auto sales. That's the main.
Right, right.
Know what you guys stand on.
Right. Yeah. So we're we got somebody in there now. We are planning on operating it as a twins lot later down the road, but as of right now, it's leased out.
What? Say that one more time. So it's not gonna be, if we recommend this to the council, you're not gonna be there?
We own the property.
Okay,
We're there.
yeah.
Did you mention to them about
No,
the?
it's, they're waiting for the lease to
Could you-
expire. They're waiting for the lease to expire. What had happened is that when they bought the property initially, they had a tenant in there. And so
Before we bought
before
Gordon.
they bought the property, when they bought it. And so they can't just kick the tenant out. They gotta wait until the lease is done before they put their own brand in there, which is what they're intending on doing.
How long was that?
How
Mr.
much
Chair,
more
I'm
time?
sorry.
Another year?
Take another year.
Another
I
year.
mean, I gotta check the contract.
Yeah, I think
They're on the same. I mean, they're on the board with us. I mean,
it's about a 6 months to a year.
yeah. I mean, they're on board
I
with
did
us.
this a
though.
few years ago. It's been a while. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't remember the exact term. But it should be expiring hopefully by beginning of next year.
So how can, if you have a lease with them, how can you hold them to what the standards we're talking about right now? As it relates to, the type of cars you're gonna have in
Because
there?
it's again,
Like, cause what they have over there right now is like,
yeah, no. That's when
Secondhand.
this happened in phases.
Okay.
When we were approached by a realtor to buy the chocolate factory, that was a few years ago. That attracted us to that lot immediately.
Right.
So we ended up buying that lot in anticipation of buying the factory, so that they can all be combined and create the dealership that we want. But when the owner sold us the lot, okay, we had to buy it with a lease on it. We couldn't, unless we buy the guy, which is a possibility, we may just buy the lease out and, get them out completed. So I haven't looked at the lease in a while, because I remember we did this a few years ago. So our goal here is that irrespective of, the standard you're talking about is one that is part of the lease agreement in terms of cleaning and everything else. But bringing in the Twins label on it is not gonna be available immediately until the lease expires, which I think will be a few months to a year.
Chairman? Yes, thank you.
Yes, Ms. Dixon.
I just want to remind this body, with special land uses, we are not accepting or approving a particular business. We're approving the land use. So in theory, if you approve or recommend approval to the city council, that means that anyone with a pre-owned or used car auto dealership can occupy that whole area. They can sell that and someone else can come in with their business. I just want that to be kept in mind as we're making these decisions, as that's important part of that process.
Let me add and just say this. The money that we spent buying that building isn't worth leasing it to this guy. I'm gonna tell you that up front.
Right.
Because a few $100,000 was spent buying that building, and this guy's paying pennies on the lease.
Right.
And so what we need to do is just need to wait him out, or we may buy him out,
Right.
and then move in when is anticipated moving in.
Plus, we're gonna be spending a lot of money renovating it. So, I mean, we'd rather, it's. I mean, we're gonna remodel it just like if it was ours. So we're gonna spend the same amount whether he's still in there or not. And do it the right way.
All right, it's gonna be Commissioner Daniels, then Commissioner Willis, then Commissioner Williams.
So I just want to be clear. So right now, you do not own it.
We own the property.
You own the property. You're leasing it to whomever is there now.
Yep.
And whoever is there now, that's why we see the cars that we see. But once and if the council approves this, you will then come in and do exactly what you're saying that you're gonna do, where it's gonna look to have 5 to 7-year-old cars.
You
have to wait until the lease is up. So we gotta wait for that whole time frame to.
When we bought the property, there was a leaseholder. There was a guy who leased the property. We had bought that property in anticipation of buying the chocolate shop. The chocolate shop discussion has been going on for like 3 or 4 years. The guy was supposed to retire a year and a half ago. We kept delaying it. I remember writing the contract like 3 or 4 years ago. But because when the car dealership side of the property was bought, we had to oblige, because you can't terminate the lease if you buy the property. We have to oblige by it. But I'm fairly certain it's got another less than a year left on the lease. And it's our intention not to renew the lease agreement for a couple of reasons. One, like I said earlier, there's so much money spent on the acquisition of this new building, that guy's not gonna be able to afford it. Even if we wanted to stay, we don't want him to stay, because part of the plan here for the company's overall well-being is to expand into different locations. This is just one of the specific targets they're looking at. But again, the problem is we have to comply. We'll figure out a way to get rid of the lease. If he wants to leave now, we'll maybe give him a couple bucks. He can go his way.
One more thing. Once it's approved, we are gonna go with the remodeling. Even if he's there still, we're still gonna clean it up, remodel it, get it ready for us. So we're not gonna wait until he leaves, then it stay vacant until, his lease is done. So the moment we know it's approved, we're gonna have our contractors start, doing the work in and out outside the building.
So if the current leasing is not there, it's still gonna be leased out.
Until such time that it's done. Until such time the lease is done. Yes.
Basically,
We have to.
So it's gonna always, so the question is, will it always be a lease, or, because you said you're gonna wait this guy out, right? So once you wait this guy out, the current leasee, who's gonna be in there? Is it gonna be you or a new lease?
Us.
Okay, thank you.
Because it doesn't, like I keep saying, it doesn't make sense to keep that tenant
I got it.
There's not much of a margin in
Yes.
these cars that he sells.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's not a much margin, it doesn't just, it's not a, and it doesn't look good. It just
Yes.
doesn't look good.
And even if you don't, you're still gonna come in and do what you say you're gonna do, no matter who's there.
Absolutely. The second we get the approval, we're gonna have our contractors do the remodeling for what we want it to look like, not for him.
Because you own this.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So the blueprints that we made is how we want it to look like, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue to move forward and remodel it. Whether
Spending all that money on this new property with the fact the factory is, makes no sense if we're just gonna give it to this guy
right,
for the pennies that he's paying us.
right,
But again, we got stuck with it in anticipation. And, we kind of hoped that we would move this along quicker, move the factory along quicker so that we can get in quicker. But right now, I think the lease is pretty much gonna be gone by the time we get started. And we finish the work that we have to do.
All set, Commissioner Daniels?
Yes, sir.
All right, Commissioner Willis.
Only thing, is like I said, I completely understand, because I buy properties and tenants be in there and you gotta honor the lease, that's the law.
right, right.
And then once they leave, then, or while they're there, you can start rehabbing,
Right.
but that's not smart dealing with real estate. But, the question I want to know was, are you able to get that, lease agreement and give it to our planner so we can kind of know like the time barrier as far as when you guys be able to take over and, rehab
Again,
it?
we're gonna do the remodeling. It's
Correct. But
Yeah,
I'm
we're
just
gonna
saying,
get the approval.
when the vehicles, all those old
Mm-hmm.
crappy cars leave, because like I said, I'm anticipating you guys coming. You know what I'm saying? I see what you do,
Thank you.
So the thing is like, can you give us more of a solid time as far as,
Yeah,
either way it go, we know it's out of your hands, but
Right.
we just kind of want an idea
Right.
of, as far as like when that lease will be over.
I'll supply that
Yeah,
information.
it's no
I gotta go back and look.
yeah,
at
that's
it.
not a problem.
Look at
Okay.
the agreement when I remember doing.
I
closing-
think it was a 3 or 4 year lease. He's been in it for what, 2 or 3? It's like a
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Less than 2 years.
Okay, long as it's not no 100-year lease or something
No,
like
no,
that.
no. But regardless, like I said, we're still gonna continue doing what we're doing.
Okay, understandable.
All set, Commissioner Willis?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Williams.
Okay, so contingent upon whenever this lease actually expires and you're able to take possession of the car lot, what is your projection to completing the renovation of the chocolate factory once you get the approval and set? What's the time frame?
According to our contractors, between 3 and 6 months, it should be completed.
So you have.
If there's any hiccups in between or whatever, so between 3 and 6 months.
Okay, so you have
done
a
in 3 or
3 6
6.
Okay, that's all, Chair.
All right, anything additional, Commissioners? Commissioner Davis?
Yep, and the understanding is, once the lease is over with, you tearing that building down, they
Small
expand the
building,
little
yes.
parking lot, so you can have, extra space to move forward.
Yes.
That's right, because we're not letting that tenant touch.
Right.
You're not letting that tenant touch what?
The new property.
No, he's not gonna be on the property,
No,
he just
no.
got what he
We're gonna
had
keep,
now.
we're gonna keep that built, again, once this is approved, we get a timeline of construction. We're gonna go back and negotiate with the guy. If he's got a few months left on his lease,
Buy 'em out.
find out someplace else he can go. We'll go from there.
And he might have a buy one, get one.
All right, Commissioner
No, I
Davis, you all
think he's got
set?
another property somewhere else. I
Okay.
think he's got someplace else.
Yeah.
You all set,
Yeah.
Commissioner Davis? Okay. And hearing nothing further, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Anything additional from the planning department?
I just want to reiterate, only because this has become an issue on other uses as well. We are not approving the specific business that's going in there. So
Just delay.
I'm sure they are good for their word, but I want everyone to keep that in mind because I think there's been confusion about that in the past. That's the only thing I want to reiterate.
All righty, thank you. So again, that was item 6B, case number 23-10, site plan auto car lot at 26300 Michigan Avenue. The floor is open for a motion to approve or deny.
I move motion to approve.
Support.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We're down to new business. Item number 7, we have none. We're down to item number 8, miscellaneous. Planning Department, do we have anything for miscellaneous?
I just want to give a few quick updates to keep the planning commission up to date with what's going on in terms of administrative approvals and different things that have happened since we last met. First of all, I did want to let you guys know that we met with NAR Cannabis, the Old Howard's Auto. They had a phase development that you had approved, and they came in to talk about submitting their final site plans. So they're going to do phase 2 and 3 all at once. They already have a tenant for the drive-through that they had been approved for as well. So that's making movement, and they're going to improve the rest of their site. So I know you guys saw that quite some time ago, and I'm happy to supply any more detail on their final site plans once we receive those. But I just wanted to share with you because it's exciting to see the new development come in. Do you have
Yes.
do you want to have back and forth, or do you want to wait? Up to you, the chair, depending
Oh,
on.
go right ahead, Commissioner Williams.
What's the drive-through business?
Savvy Sliders. And then they're gonna have a couple of other retail suites. In addition, 1173 Henry Ruff, which is kind of a small multi-suite retail property they're doing construction on. They're bringing it up to code. We haven't been given any specific use. They want to just get it ready for tenants, and once they find the tenants, they have to come back and apply for the use that they will be occupying it with before they get their certificate of occupancy. But they're bringing that up to code and doing some renovation, so that's good to see. 3, 4.
1 second, Commissioner Williams.
That's what I wanted to know. On Henry Ruff, is that the one you said between Oakwood and Glenwood? Okay.
We talked during election day, remember?
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're still in the meeting. Thank you. Commissioner Williams, you all set?
Yes.
Okay. Please continue, Ms. Dixon.
341 Inkster Road, which is in the plaza, the second plaza south of Cherry Hill on the east side, where there was a former music studio. They're opening a small threading salon there. So they're taking over one of the vacant suites. And then 3000 Middle Belt, which is right behind the gas station on the corner of Middle Belt and Michigan.
Ms. Dixon, 3,000 or 30,000?
30,000, I
Okay,
apologize.
all right.
They're going to be doing furniture retail out of that building. So they came in last week and applied for a furniture retail. So just
Talking about right behind Brothers.
the gas station on the southwest corner of Middle Belt
Oh, side
and
one.
Oh, the
Michigan.
old siding world, okay.
The whole what?
Sounds
Siding
familiar,
world.
30,000.
Oh, okay, Siding Mill.
Siding World.
Oh, Siding
okay.
World,
Okay.
yes, okay.
Siding
Okay.
world.
So when you see activity going on there, that's going to be a furniture outlet.
Okay, Commissioner Willis and then Daniels.
I have a question.
Yes.
On Middlebelt, next to Bub's, what is that? On Middlebelt and Glenwood, Bubba's Barbershop, what is that building that Bubba's used to be?
What is that, 11?
They used to be in there.
Correct.
Yeah, it's supposed to be retail, but I think they selling weed out of there.
Oh,
But according to the chief, they had an investigation going on, so we don't speak too much on that.
oh,
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are aware.
oh, okay.
All set, Commissioner Willis?
All set.
Commissioner Daniels?
I was throwing a little off because as soon as you said NAR, I just thought National Association of Realtors.
I did too.
That's the real estate. And it took me, a good 3 minutes before I caught on NAR. Right? Yeah, NAR right there. Can you repeat that again?
It's so 29899 Michigan Avenue is the address. It's the old Howard's car lot that they converted that building into the
Right, and it's already up and it's already
So
up,
they
right?
when they came to planning commission, their site plan was a phased development. So they had phase 1, which is what they've occupied now, and then they're building an additional 5,000 square foot building next to that building, and then a separate drive-through all the way to the west of on their site. And they're going to have the fountain in the front if you remember those elevations. And so they've come in because MDOT didn't allow them to have multiple entry points. So they're gonna have one entry point for the whole site. And now there's gonna be 2 fountains and ponds on
Okay.
each side of that entry point. But they're going to construct phase 2 and 3 all at once. So essentially phase 3 is getting wrapped into phase 2. And they're submitting final site plans in the next couple of weeks for that.
Okay.
And just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, NAR is the DBA, or doing business as, for Inkster Micro Business LLC. So if you're ever looking it up on Lara, that's how to come up.
Okay.
Were you all set?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Anything additional?
That was just my updates. I just want to keep everyone, when they see activity going on, that's kind of a preliminary of what we have approved or talked with applicants about.
I'm glad you brought that up too, about the phases 2 and 3, because some of our council colleagues, and I'm sure Mayor Wimberly and those, who are present at the meetings have been inquiring about that quite heavily, about phase 2 and phase 3. And I know sometimes, again, because all of us are not at all the meetings for the full discussions, and I know, heck, me can't retain everything, and so sometimes stuff gets lost in translation or mixed up, kind of like some of us who don't sleep well, and it feels like the same day and you just taking naps all the time. So I know there was a bit of confusion coming up in this. I'm glad you brought that clarity about they will be approaching phase 2 and 3, just because there were some discrepancies happening. And I'm glad you also disclosed about MDOT not allowing 2 entry points, because I wondered that even with Flight Club and the signage that's on the building next door, Planet Kush, I was like, well, why did they close up that driveway and open a new one? But that's an MDOT ruling and not a City of Inkster thing.
That's correct. They tried to lobby MDOT. They really worked to try and renegotiate that, but that was MDOT's ruling. So
Yeah, MDOT is firm.
yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything additional, commissioners, for miscellaneous? Alrighty, hearing none, we're down to second hearing of the public. Item number 9, for items not scheduled for a public hearing or on the agenda. For the record, there is nobody in the general audience. I was going to ask
You
you,
don't see that person?
right, if you seeing somebody out there, man,
We want whatever's in that bag.
no, we don't. No, we don't. Alrighty, there's no one here from the general public to speak this time, so we are down to item number 10, adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It has been properly moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Stay here.
Motion passes. This meeting is now adjourned at 7:29 p.m.